I thought I'd done that beforehand. Oops, sorry about that. Okay, should be good now. Apologies for that. You can tell I'm out of practice. It should be good now. Hello? Let me know if you can hear me now. Very interesting point there, Tammy. We can't hear you. I could have just spoken to myself for ages. I think we're good now. Are we good now? I know that the stream is slightly delayed. There, Tammy. We can't. Yeah, sound is back. Good. Good, good. Okay. Yeah, so essentially, what I was going to say, I was basically just saying apologies for my recent absence. I'll be honest, right? It's not anything to do with the channel or Doctor Who particularly. It's more so just to do with the fact that I've just been feeling a little bit like sort of mentally just sort of drained, and I've not been feeling very well, like physical health wise. But I'm feeling a lot better now. Recently, you'll have seen I just decided to post it as a short. I picked up a new chair yesterday, specifically a new manual chair. And what's cool about this one is that it's got power assisted wheels. And obviously, anyone who's been using a wheelchair for long enough will know electric wheelchairs, which is what I'm normally in, aren't as practical for certain locations. So I was really in need of a manual chair, and I'm just really glad to have that out the way. I'm still waiting on a new powered chair, but because it's obviously the NHS, these things take forever. Because I've had this one, I want to say since about year 8 or 9 of high school, which considering that I'm now in my 20s, yeah, I've had it a while, but that's the update of my life, which I don't know how many of you care about, but there we are. So that's why I've not been around. And also, honestly, I've just kind of been waiting for Doctor Who stories to pile up a bit. There's not been a huge amount going on in this sort of last couple of weeks. It's kind of been a bit of a quiet zone, so I just thought, seeing as TV Zone's made a news article about it, and I thought, well, I might as well if they've covered it and people are talking about it. It's a minor piece of Series 14 casting news right near the beginning of DDM. Doctor Who announces 4 new cast members as filming wraps on Series 14 of Doctor Who, the first starring Ncuti Gatwa as the Doctor and Millie Gibson as companion Ruby Sunday. 4 more cast members have been announced. So I'll be totally honest, I'm not really familiar with any of the actors they've announced, which isn't a bad thing, but obviously I'm not going to have a ton to say about their filmographies because I don't know them very well. But we've got Gemma Arrowsmith, Mary Malone, Majid. Oh, I'm gonna butcher this. Mazeda Valajudi, I hope I'm saying that right, and Billy Brayshaw joining the cast for the upcoming festive special. So these are for the festive special. She's done Radio 4 stuff. Mary Malone, known for Vera and the Prince. Joining the team for Series 14 will be Majid Madzia, known for Hollyoaks, and Billy Brayshaw, known for CBBC's Still So Awkward. I haven't watched CBBC in years, so I don't know what's going on over there, but that's cool. And it's also interesting to note that with this, they've specifically said 2 of these are for the upcoming festive special, which will be later in the year, and 2 of these are for Series 14. And Phil Collinson said here in Doctor Who magazine, the cast for our end of year special is continuing to grow, though still with some names we haven't announced yet. So we are going to be getting more Series 14 / festive special casting announcements coming throughout the rest of the year, likely in the pages of Doctor Who magazine, which is always nice to see. But it is a delight to welcome 2 more names aboard with Gemma Arrowsmith and Mary Malone, and you won't have to wait long to find out how they're connected to the Doctor and Ruby. Collinson continued, coming up after that, I can't speak today, is a delight to open the studio doors to a former Hollyoaks, a former star of Hollyoaks, with Majid Mazdia Valajirdi, his character in Hollyoaks, Kessie, Dode of alcohol poisoning. Oh, Dode of alcohol. I think it means died of alcohol poisoning on his wedding day. So let's hope he has a more peaceful time in the universe, although I can't promise. He added, and in a separate episode, we're delighted to say hello to Billy Brayshaw, and there are so many more names to come. So yeah, I don't really know much about any of these actors. If you guys do, feel free to let me know in the chat or sort of comments below if you're watching this retrospectively via like a VOD or something. But it's always cool to see some more casting announcements happen. The new DDBM will be out tomorrow, like officially. But obviously, if you're a subscriber to the magazine, you might have it slightly earlier than that. Uh, has anyone pre-ordered the books for the Starbase Wobbly and the Giggle? I haven't. I probably should. And we are going to be going over some books in a moment. You look so happy in the wheelchair video. It was fun to try. I'd never tried power-assisted wheels before. They essentially work in a very similar way to how, like, you know, like how electric bikes kind of work. It's fun. Saw on Twitter that you follow TLDR News as well. Great minds think alike. Oh yeah, I really enjoy their stuff. They kind of keep me in the loop of things. It's one of my favorite little news resources, and I think they keep me in the loop, and they're very good at it. They're very good at what they do. So yeah, in other news, obviously we're going to be going through some of the other more interesting things as we go along. The Rose novelization, which was previously done for Target by Russell T Davies, is now getting an illustrated version, fittingly enough, releasing on November 23rd. Now, I think this is really nice. I know some people have said, oh, why give this treatment in the 60th year? Why not do like Unearthly Child or something? But I think it kind of works nicely as kind of this symbol of, so this is Russell's first story in the Doctor Who universe, sort of in a official canon capacity, because obviously I know he did the Target novel Damaged Goods, and that's coming back around full circle in 2023 with his first of a new era, the Star Beast, for the 60th. So I think it's really nice to have this release out there. It looks really nice on the cover. I'm looking forward to seeing what the illustrations look like. I may well pick this up. I didn't pick up the original Target novelization. I'll be honest, I've not been a huge Target collector before, but I do want to get more into it, but I always feel like I missed the boat. So maybe I'll get more into that as the years go on, and it seems like they're having quite regular releases. So, yeah. But I assume one of the bigger pieces of news that most of you will be aware of is we have a new release from the Doctor Who BBC classic missing episode animation range. This time it's the Underwater Menace. All 4 episodes will be newly animated in colour and in black and white in the traditional style. This seems to be very reminiscent of the recent Evil of the Daleks animation. And it must seem, because obviously I'm not Josh Nares. I don't claim to be an expert on these things. But from the way I understand it, part of these were funded by BBC America, and then obviously because BBC America aren't getting Doctor Who anymore, it's going to Disney Plus. BBC America pulled out of funding for these, because why would they fund them if they can't show them, etc., etc. So I would assume that either these were funded before that deal happened, or alternatively, a new source of funding has been found. I'd be interested to see if Disney did have any input into the money pot of this. I will say there's not a huge difference between this and what we've seen sort of prior to this. So I'd assume maybe it was done before all those deals were made. However, time will tell. I'd assume this means that I know that they did previously announce, I believe, a Smugglers missing episode animation, so I'd assume that's going forward. Yeah, it's nice to see that these are still going on. I've not watched all of them, but I have watched The Abominable Snowman, Galaxy 4, Power of the Daleks, the original version of Power of the Daleks, not the upgraded Blu-ray version that they did. And there was one other that I've seen, and I can't remember which one it was. But yeah, I always enjoy watching these, and I'm sure that you guys will probably get a kick out of them too. There's like a whole write-up here about the story itself. From what I can gather, like I've not seen the Underwater Menace because obviously parts of it's are missing, and I'm not a big telesnap guy, as I've kind of illustrated in previous videos. However, from what I understand, the Underwater Menace isn't exactly what's considered a fan favorite episode. However, it's just nice to see that these are still going on. It seems like they want to fill out, I believe it's season 4, because a lot of the stories seem to be coming from that series, so maybe they're filling it out to possibly do a future collection box set or something like that. Totally see that being the case. But it's always really cool to see these happening, and it's always really cool to see these gaps being filled out. And then, sort of yesterday, it was announced this is the cover for GDBM issue 594. It has David Tennant brandishing the Sonic. The main feature is, of course, a full-on interview with the designer of the Sonic, which I've read a little bit of, and it's a really, really interesting interview. And we're going to be getting into more detail about that tomorrow. However, you also get the continuation of what's it called? Liberation of the Daleks. Details on the season 20 box set, as well as the 12th and 13th Doctor polls, which are very interesting. And like I say, we're going to be covering those in full tomorrow. As per usual, oops, sorry, I went on Bad Wolf's tweet by mistake. As per usual, there's been a few people grumbling about the cover, but I'll be honest, I really couldn't care less. I've seen some people say, oh, why haven't 12 and 13 been featured on this as it's their poll, despite the fact the only Doctors that have been featured because it's their poll have been, to my knowledge, William Hartnell, Patrick Troughton, and Christopher Eccleston. None of the other Doctors have. I get that it's quite inconsistent, but that's not like a 13 exclusive thing. And like when it comes to this magazine, I'm not going to reveal all the details, but this magazine very heavily focuses on the 14th Doctor's Sonic Screwdriver. Like that's the biggest interview segment. So I can completely understand why they've sort of featured that as the main sort of attraction of this cover. It makes total sense. And also, the 60th is just the most recent thing coming out, so it makes total sense to have that be at the forefront of Doctor Who magazine, at the forefront of promotion. You know, that's just how it works. I don't think it's anything personal to any other incarnation, but for some reason, whenever a magazine comes out, people feel the need to take whatever's on the cover overly personally for some bizarre reason, and I don't understand it. Like, Matt Smith wasn't on the last issue, even though I'm pretty sure his poll was there, and you didn't see me going, guys, they won't even include Matt Smith. It's gone too far. It's a magazine cover. It's not that deep. Anyway, this is one of the things I'm most excited for, and this is something that I saw a lot of the documentation for the 60th anniversary, and it's going to be held at the Millennium Centre in Cardiff, and it's going to be broadcast on BBC Radio 2. I hope that there is eventually released a sort of video version of it, maybe for like a DVD extra or like a Series 14 online extra or something like that. Would be really, really cool. But it was announced on Thursday, the 10th of August, and I'll just read you the write-up from TV Zone. So since its launch on BBC Television in November 1963, Doctor Who fans have been delighted. Doctor Who have been delighting millions of fans all over the world as they have followed the adventures of the Time Lord, with its instantly recognisable theme, specially composed music has always been at the heart of Doctor Who. The main series will be broadcasting 3 episodes in November, starring David Tennant and Catherine Tate, reprising their roles as the Doctor and Donna Noble respectively. In this celebration concert from BBC Hoddinant Hall in Wales, Millennium Centre, Cardiff, the BBC National Orchestra of Wales and the BBC Singers, conducted by Alistair King, explored this music. Includes the work of Murray Gold, Sagan Akinola, Dudley Simpson, Paddy Kingsland, and of course Ron Grainer's original theme as inspired by the radiophonic workshops Delia Derbyshire. Guests include Doctor Who showrunner Russell T Davies, composer Murray Gold, who has recently returned to the show. More news will be announced at a later date. So as far as I know, the venue for this seats about 350 odd people, and I know a lot of people want to get tickets for this, myself included. They've not announced when tickets will go on sale for this, but safe to say I'm going to be trying my best to get there, because I've always wanted to go to one of these Doctor Who concerts, and this feels like the perfect time. I really like that it's sort of celebrating multiple composers, multiple eras of the show. It's a real celebration of the entire history of the show musically. I will say, if I hear I Am the Doctor in concert live, that might make me a bit emotional, I can't lie, as someone who grew up with 11. Yeah, this was one of the coolest announcements. And I think this, along with a couple of other things, including what we're going to be talking about in a sec, has kind of gotten me more into the 60th spirit, because there's been a lot of talk about kind of this feeling of, oh, is the 60th year kind of underwhelming when in comparison to previous years? Is there enough content? considering the significance of the anniversary year. And I think this in particular has kind of allayed a bit of that for me personally. Like the fact that we've had like a concert announced, we've had things like new figures announced, and various other things like that. Like, you know, obviously Doctor Who magazines just come out. It does feel like things are ramping up, and I'm glad to see that. You can get different versions of the new Sonic. I haven't actually spoken about that yet, but yes, the retail version of the 14th Doctor Sonic Screwdriver, which doesn't include the chrome paint from the character online exclusive release, is I think available to pre-order now. I pre-ordered one anyway. Well, they did the Daleks as an illustrated one first. Yes, yeah, they did do. They did do the Daleks as an illustration. Every anniversary is underwhelming because Doctor Who fans could never be happy. That's true. Unfortunately, that is true. But I just mean, I feel as though with these recent few announcements, I've been getting more into the spirit. Yeah, exactly. 60 is a lot less of a big deal than the 50th. I've always kind of felt, and I've done an entire, like, you know, podcast segment, which I made into a video on this. I do kind of feel it is somewhat unfair to compare the 50th to the 60th in so much as the context of where the show was at was completely different. The sort of landscape of things, um, like is like very different. So yeah, like it just kind of makes sense, and the money for Doctor Who is just seemingly a lot less. It just makes sense. What do you think of Daleks at Christmas again? I mean, I think we're going to be getting a Christmas special. Whether the Daleks are going to show up, I don't know. Season 4 only has Smugglers, which was rumoured with UWM, so we're almost certainly getting that soon. And the Highlanders left. Seasons 1, 2, 5, and 6 all only need one story to complete. Yeah, but yeah, my point was just between the concert, new animations, I've been feeling a bit more in the 60th spirit of things. We do forget that people complain about the 50th. Doctor Who fans just always look back nostalgically. Very true. Next up, it's sort of been dropped, shadow dropped by B&M, or character, I should say, that some new B&M sets have been unveiled. These are a History of the Dalek set featuring the Richard Hurnbull First Doctor and Death Zone Dalek from the Five Doctors, the Necros Daleks from Revelation of the Daleks, and my personal favourite by far, An Ultimate Adventure Sixth Doctor with Tardis, which is my personal favourite of these releases, just because of how obscure and cool it is to have this variation of the costume. That's really, really cool to see. But more significant than that, because like I say, these figures were like leaked a while ago to be happening. More significant than that, though, to me, is the packaging. They've gone for this new packaging style, which we've sort of first seen previewed on the various Sonic Screwdriver releases, which is either sort of yellow or blue. It seems to me, and I could be wrong, but it seems to me that the rarer items, I could be wrong, seem to go for a yellow colour scheme, and the more common items seem to have a blue colour scheme, because, the reason I say that, the character online 14 Sonic was in sort of yellowy orange packaging, and then the standard release was in the sort of the bluish and black packaging. So I'm just going to assume that that might be the case. I could be wrong there, but I'd assume it's going to be easier to get like the Hurndall set than perhaps, especially like the Ultimate Adventure 6 Doctor. Then again, I doubt the Necros Daleks would be, you know, a rarity, so maybe I am just, you know, completely wrong there. But regardless, I do like the packaging quite a bit. I definitely think it's an upgrade from, if I can get them up, the recent sort of silvery and blue kind of packaging they've been having recently, which has looked way too formal for figures, in my opinion. Hold on, let me just look up Doctor Who figures. Uh, oh, I've just realised something I haven't talked about. But anyway, yeah. So for context, this is what the packaging has looked like the last couple of years. This sort of blue and grey kind of combination, and I must say, I deeply prefer this sort of bright, blue or bright sort of yellow, as opposed to what we've been getting more recently, which very much feels kind of a lot more sterile and more like sort of almost, dare I say, kitchenware. Whereas with this, it does feel more exciting to me. So I'm glad of that, and I'm glad we're getting some more sort of figures. My only hope is that the next figures that they do announce, obviously I know these guys have been sort of rumoured for like a long time, but the next things that they get announced, I hope, is some new series stuff, specifically some 60th stuff, because I want me some 60th figures. We've had our 14th Doctor. I want a Donna Noble to put with him. I want a Ncuti Gatwa. Give us all that stuff. Hopefully that stuff will be coming later in the year. But yeah. The next thing I wanted to cover. There's just been a message on my phone. The next thing I wanted to cover was just that we've had some. That's the wrong page. Oh yeah, there's that. So the Fall Guys has the online game has been updated with some more Doctor Who content. Previously, you'll remember that they revealed a 13th and 14th Doctor costume variant, as well as a Dalek and 4th Doctor. This time, they've gone for a 10th Doctor, Tardis, and Cyberman costume within the game. These are now available in the Fall Guys store. I may well play Fall Guys later on in this stream, if I've still got it on my computer, I don't remember, and get these skins on there. We'll see. I haven't pre-booted them, so I might have to do that before showing you guys. But yeah, I'm glad that Fall Guys is continually getting updates with regards to Doctor Who stuff, and hopefully it is a sign of Doctor Who being in more of these game events, vis-a-vis, obviously there's been rumours for months and months about a fortnight thing, which I think is probably going to happen, but seems to have been delayed. But it's just nice to see Doctor Who on these sort of big game platforms. It sort of represents a push for the show, which is just nice to see. But the actual next thing I wanted to cover was this. So Doctor Who has been having a couple of sort of, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? Previews in various magazines. Here you can see this is a preview from the Radio Times. They've been doing like a site like this. This is their sci-fi magazine of sci-fi stuff coming later in the year. Obviously, Doctor Who is one of those. And the full write-up, I think I've got it on screen. Hold on. Yeah, so the whole write-up is here. And as you can see, it says, as Doctor Who approaches pensionable age, it shows no sign of slowing down. In fact, it's going big. For this autumn's 60th anniversary, fan favourite Dr. David Tennant returns to the lead role for 3 specials starring Catherine Tate as acclaimed as old psychic Donna Noble, and written by acclaimed ex-show boss Russell T Davies. The specifics of coming back to Doctor Who took a bit of wrangling. Tennant told Radio Science in a recent interview. Initially, it was a casual conversation going, wouldn't it be fun to do a one-off? Then Russell was back running the show, and suddenly it could be something bigger. It's a victory lap in a way. You get to enjoy something that meant so much to you, one last shot before you get too old to do it again. In 3 specials entitled The Star Beast, Wildly Yonder, and The Giggle, Tennant's Doctor will face familiar foes, familiar monsters, old foes, and new threats, before regenerating into brand new Time Lord, sex education star Ncuti Gatwa, who takes over the lead role for a Christmas special in December. So yeah, that's also just Radio Times flat out saying that it's at Christmas, which I think is already pretty much confirmed anyway, but it's nice to see that sort of in writing here in a pretty reputable publication. In Tennant's words, it makes me feel like I'm just holding the coat until he arrives, because he's very excited. And that was done by Hugh Fullerton. But that wasn't the only magazine that Doctor Who featured in. Total TV Guide had the Doctor and Donna as one of their headline images for the autumn season. And what's hilarious about this that people, and then like we're heading towards the end of the new segment, but I do have a couple more things to go over. First of all, this just got announced today. Ncuti Gatwa will be starring in an audible original version of David Copperfield by Charles Dickens with Helena Bonham Carter, no less. This is a very stacked production for an audible original. But the main reason I want to point out is just because, oh my god, look at him in that costume. Why does he look so doctory in everything he wears? He looks fantastic, but yeah. I might well check this out, because obviously it's one of the few things we'll be seeing Ncuti Gatwa in before he takes on his role as the Doctor. Obviously he was in Barbie, and he will be in Sex Education this September. But yeah, this was a cool little announcement. And then the final thing I wanted to talk about was this. So if you remember, a while back, the Doctor Who social medias put out a post saying, cavernous or quaint, round things or hexagons, what would your dream TARDIS control room look like? To which Russell T Davies responded, purple and
I've got money.
I was not expecting that.
Yes, you are.
I just jumped out my skin. Oh, let me read who that super chat was from. Thank you, Jean-Luc Harry, for the £2 super chat. That, I was in my flow. That killed me for a second. So yeah, what were we talking about? Yes, so the BBC socials put out this. Cavernous or quaint, round things or hexagons, what would you like your dream TARDIS control room to look like? To which Russell T Davies responded, purple and teal and topsy-turvy. Now this is interesting for a couple of reasons. Number one, from the leaked footage, we kind of know that kind of topsy-turvy is kind of a vibe that this new TARDIS has. Obviously, I'm not going to show them on screen for obvious reasons, but they feature ramps and things like that. And yeah, that makes total sense. But also, we have the aspect of, if I can get the picture up, at one of the filming locations, it seemed as though there was a purple light emanating from Ncuti Gatwa's TARDIS, if I can get it up. I'm going to do a quick scroll. Yeah. So as you can sort of see here, there was kind of this purple light emanating from Ncuti's TARDIS, with Millie Gibson popping out for the 60s filming. So my kind of current speculation is perhaps they'll do a sort of Matt Smith, Peter Capaldi thing, where maybe Tennant will have the teal lighting and Ncuti Gatwa will have the purple lighting. That's just my speculation about this right now, but I think it's very cool to see Russell teasing the TARDIS interior. I am still of the firm belief, I know some people don't want it, I am still of the firm belief we will probably get a TARDIS reveal this month, given how much they've been teasing TARDIS interiors this month. Like, it just makes logical sense. Especially given last month they had Sonic Screwdriver month, which only seemed to be Sonic Screwdriver month, so they could reveal the Sonic Screwdriver. How many times can I say Sonic Screwdriver in a sentence? So yeah, I am still betting on there probably being some form of TARDIS announcement this month. I could be wrong, but it just seems quite likely to me. And that was just about all the main news I wanted to cover. I know that for a fact the latest part of Doctor Who Once and Future has now come out. Did you cover the Yasmin Finney post being in Series 14? I haven't, but that is in DWM, so I'm probably going to cover that tomorrow in a more full capacity, because I don't want to cover it all. I kind of just want to catch up on all the little bits of news that I haven't covered yet prior to DWM, and then tomorrow I'll do a full DWM breakdown where that's sort of spoken about. If they do an interior reveal as it's the 60th, they could finally update the Google Earth Easter egg. Yeah, it's still the second Smith one, right? So it's not even the Capaldi one. It's the Smith version where it's blue. What is your favourite TARDIS interior, and what would your TARDIS interior look like? Favourite is Paul McGann's. Probably close second would be Peter Capaldi's. In terms of what I want mine to look like, honestly, what the leaked footage stuff looks like is honestly kind of up there. Also, people are saying, "Rip, we lost him." Did my internet die? I hope not, because I don't think it did. I think, yeah, like someone said there, I think 14's TARDIS is white and blue, like classic TARDIS. I think that's very possible. I mean, that does seem to be the like sort of main color scheme for the 14th Doctor. Like his Sonic is kind of grey, white, and blue. You know, his suit has a lot of blue on it, and a lot, you know, obviously the shirt's white as well. It makes total sense. Should I just cover it now? Screw it. I'll just cover it now. Why not? I'll be doing other stuff. There's a lot of other stuff to actually talk about in DWM anyway, so I might as well do it. So, TV Zones ran with this story: Doctor Who Yasmin Finney to reprise role in Series 14. Yasmin Finney could be appearing in Series 14 of Doctor Who. Russell T Davies seemingly revealed in the latest issue of Doctor Who magazine. The BBC declined to comment further or give clarification when approached by TV Zone. When the BBC declined to comment on something, little side note, that tends to mean it's probably true, because they can't say it's not happening and lie because they're a public broadcaster, but they'll normally just say, we cannot comment on this, you know, at this time, which essentially means it's probably maybe true. Finney's best known for starring in Netflix's series Heartstopper, and will debut in Doctor Who this November alongside David Tennant and Catherine Tate in 3-hour-long specials to celebrate the show's 60th anniversary. Writing in the latest issue of Doctor Who magazine, showrunner Russell T Davies spoke about the last days of filming for Series 14. He revealed that Yasmin Finney was on set and wrapped a few days ago, seemingly confirming she was filming scenes for Series 14. However, he did not go into further details or clarification. This is not confirmed by the BBC, who declined to comment when further approached for comment. So yeah, basically, as you know, she's intended to be part of the 60th anniversary, which was filmed way back last year. However, she was seemingly at the Series 14 wrap party, which would heavily imply she's been doing something for Series 14, which is very interesting. It's also interesting to note that I think, and I'll double check this tomorrow when the digital edition goes live. I believe Russell T Davies said of Yasmin Finney, or like "see you soon" or something like that, possibly hinting that she will have, you know, more roles going forward. I could honestly see her being like a companion to 15, maybe following Ruby, sort of coming back. I mean, it would make total sense. Yasmin Finney and Ncuti Gatwa know each other and have even worked with each other apparently on the 60th anniversary. Or maybe that is for Series 14. Who even knows at this point? I think it's fairly likely she could make an appearance in Series 14. I think stranger things have happened. I mean, it was on Netflix, season 24. But I digress. I think it could happen, and I would not be opposed to it if it did. Action figures coming up for Doctor Who. Oh, now it's good morning for like 2 seconds. You might get a couple seconds of delay. I think that's more YouTube's end, honestly. Why would Rose be in Series 14? I don't know. I didn't write it. But then again, you can say the same thing about Mel. I have no idea why she's in it. We lost you at the TV guide for how long? Yeah, I mean, there wasn't much. I was just saying how they reused the TARDIS PNG. That was about it, really. You know, you didn't miss much. Yeah. So I think the 60th episodes are 60 minutes each, I think. Oh, sorry, not sure if you've seen this, but I'm working on the 14th Doctor TARDIS interior in Roblox. Very cool. Feel free to send that to me when it's done. I'll be very excited to see that. I might even play it. I haven't played Roblox in God knows how long. Side note, because you mentioned Twitter there, does anyone actually call it X? Because I still just call it Twitter. Like, it doesn't matter how much he tries to convince anyone. I'm still calling it Twitter. But yeah, I'm just trying to think if there was anything else I wanted to cover. But yeah, I would not be opposed to Yasmin Finney coming back. So yeah, someone asked, with regards to the figures, we've got a History of the Daleks set with Richard Hurndall and the Death Zone Dalek from the Five Doctors, a Necros Daleks from Revelation of the Daleks, and an Ultimate Adventures Six Doctor set, which is from the stage play, alongside his Tardis. So I hope that clarifies that. Only as a joke, I've seen people call it X. Yeah, no one unironically goes, yeah, X. Everyone still just says Twitter. I love Matt's first TARDIS interior. Hi from Australia. Hello! Yes, I do like Matt's first TARDIS interior a lot. I think it fits his character really well. It's probably quite underrated, actually. I found an Instagram account the other day, actually, that's made me very jealous, and I want to live with this man. Not in that way. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it. I don't think I can. It was in my DMs. That's annoying. I don't think I can find it. Basically, it was like this guy who has like a full-on Doctor Who museum in his house, and it was amazing. And I was so jealous of it, and I want to live there. And it looks absolutely fantastic. I think I follow him on Instagram, but I don't want to show my Instagram on screen. Well, I can, but you know, I want to show like just my random stuff because I don't know what's on there. Do do do. He has like the Paul McGann TARDIS in there, and he has like a Hartnell TARDIS and a Tom Baker TARDIS. Who's he? Thank you, Sean. That's the one. I forgot the name of it. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Also, good news. You should, all being well, be seeing the return of Dennis sometime next week. The Cyberman head. He should be making his formal return to much fanfare. Or Mike Hawk, as some of you refer to him. I'm just realizing my Instagram is being very slow, so I'm wondering if that's an internet problem. I'm watching you when I'm supposed to be working. Honestly, I think that's a better use of time. I kid, of course. He will be back next week. Yes, hopefully, all being well. There we go. For some reason, Instagram's really bad on not phones. Like if you load it up on PC, it's like really slow. I only see Elon since called X. Yeah. Hey dude, what did Paul sign on his photo? He signed. Hold on. Have a look. I think it was something just like, oh, thanks for coming to Stevie, and then my name, so Tom. Looks like Dennis is no longer going to be a menace for much longer. God, I'm good. I missed him. Yeah. Why is this not? I think my internet might be doing a funny, but I don't think I've completely gone down. So fingers crossed that doesn't happen. Teen set. Really, really cool stuff. It's just, I'm so jealous, and I want to live there. Please let me live with you. This man who runs the museum. Hang on, let me scroll down. There we go. There we go. Now it's letting me scroll down. Like, tell me that's not the coolest thing you've ever seen in your life. It looks amazing. It looks incredible. But yes, I am very jealous of this man. I discovered this yesterday and thought I'd share that with you all. He returned. Wait, did it die? I covered that earlier in the stream, so when this stream goes into VOD mode, it'll be like one of the first things that comes up. So yeah, I can't remember all their names off the top of my head. They're mostly newcomers, but yeah. But yeah, I don't think I have Fall Guys installed, do I? I do not have Fall Guys installed. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to end this stream here for today. Thank you all for tuning in. It's been a bit of a short one, but I have been going for about 45 minutes. But next stream, when we do another stream, we'll be doing the Fall Guys Doctor Who content. We'll probably be having a more fun, chill stream. Tomorrow, you'll be getting my full breakdown of the Doctor Who magazine news. Thank you all for tuning in. Someone just subscribed. Subscribe if you're new. Like if you enjoy. This will be up immediately as a VOD as soon as it comes out. Was it announced as well? It's been in Doctor Who magazine, but it's on the TV Zone website. If you've not seen it there, gonna go set up my Fall Guys right now. Go for it. I'll probably do that next time. All right, everyone. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Doctor Who and Fallout would be great. I mean, they do mods for it, but yeah. Bye, everyone.